The Matrix Resurrections, another sacrificial lamb on the altar of the modern narrative, destroying all our heroes in classic movies? Is that a bit harsh? Well, maybe Neo's not even the one anymore. Find out next on this episode of I'm Not Famous. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Hollywood, Jesus fucking Christ. Come up with an original idea for Christ's sake. I think it's been, I want to say 10 years, I think it's been more. But certainly in the last few, it's getting old. So I'm going to rant and rave on this one. Sorry, that's just how it is. So many movies coming out that I'm just dreading because they've got a really bad track list so far of ruining all my childhood dreams, ruining classic movies. And I remember someone putting it as like graffiti over art. I do feel like whoever is out there doing this, I won't say it's a certain generation because you can't blame a whole thing. I will never blame a whole group, but I do have to call out Hollywood as a group. And I don't know if it's just can't find writers with any talent or any life experience, or they are adults with the minds of childs, or they think every movie has to be a cookie cutter Marvel movie. And that doesn't mean I don't like Marvel movies, but I don't want every fucking movie to be a Marvel movie, to have a specific template, and certainly not a narrative that has to be pushed down my throat. Come up with something original, seriously. Now, you know, they ruined Ghostbusters in 2016, but thank God that's been reprieved. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard only good things about the new Ghostbusters. And that was as simple as just remaining true to the original story and the original characters and being respectful. Simple as that. Being respectful of the original material, the material that was set out and that everyone knows and loves characters. And you can't just come in and swap them around just because you want to. You can't just use tokenism just to swap it around and say, oh, but that's what's cool now, let's just change it. Star Wars has been ruined. I'm pretty damn sure Indiana Jones is about to get ruined. Terminator was ruined. I mean, almost every franchise is just getting raked across the coals. And it just amazes me that they can't come up with an original idea. So they have to take all of our movies and, like I say, ruin them. Graffiti right over the top of them. And the latest one, I have a bad feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I'll certainly watch it. But I think it's going to be The Matrix 4, the new Matrix movie. The original Matrix. Astounding. Came out of nowhere. I think people weren't even sure what were they looking at. And then once they saw it, it was groundbreaking in so many ways. And not just effects, but the story, the idea, the concept at the time. It was perfect. 1999, getting into that digital world. People are just opening up their eyes. MP3s and DVDs and the digital world and getting online. I just think that the original story was fantastic. Matrix 2 and 3, whatever. I think that was a bit of a money grab. I really don't think they had a full design in mind, a whole story arc, just like all the liars who did the latest Star Wars sequels, as if they had all that planned out. What a botched hatchet job that was. And I think that was The Matrix as well. I think the original Matrix is a movie unto itself. You don't always need sequels, for God's sake. I blame Spielberg. I blame the days of Rocky and Jaws. Well, not specifically Sylvester Stallone or Spielberg, but that mentality that there has to be a Jaws 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and Rocky 5 and 6. Although, okay, Rocky 4 was cool, and I'm sure the Rocky 4 recut will be interesting. But yeah, sequels and franchises, oh my God. You can have a standalone movie, for Christ's sake. It can be a one-off. It can be a Citizen Kane. It can be a masterpiece. It doesn't have to be rehashed and recast. You don't have to dig the actors out of the goddamn closet and try and bring them back to life. You know, you can dig up grandma, but it won't be what you remember. It won't be as fun. She ain't gonna bake fucking cookies. You know, you can't revise the past all the time. Come up with something new. Leave that alone. So, The Matrix. I have a bad feeling that the Matrix movie is going to be loaded with forced narratives and a lot of woke shit. And I'm sorry that I say that, but it's true. And I feel like I always have to preface this by saying, I literally don't give a shit what you do in your personal life or what you believe. I really don't care. As long as you're not hurting yourself, hurting someone else, or inciting others to hurt themselves, I really don't give a shit what you do or how you choose to live your life. Jesus Christ, we all are humans, like I say, and we all are very strange. We are all capable of such complex things in our brains, and life is what you make of it. I don't care. That's a beautiful, amazing thing. But I still feel like we are supposed to all be living together in this utopian society. It's not supposed to be about, the evil hetero white male oppressive fuck should die. That's getting old. Do you want to destroy us or live with us? It seems more like revenge than trying to say, you want to join us. We can all live together in all our beliefs and all our cultures and religions and identity politics. We can all live in harmony as long as you join us. You don't try to push us off the fucking ledge, because that ain't going to work. And pushing a narrative down our throat that there is only one right way, and any way that seemed natural before is now evil or wrong. Anyway, I don't want to make this about that, but I'm just saying the problem is politics are entering movies, and identity politics in a heavy way. And I don't know if I just never noticed it before or it just crept in, but movies used to feel good. They were escapism, entertainment, like any story. If it's a documentary, well, then of course that's different. It should be based on historical facts. Even that's a bit shady these days. But The Matrix, one of those movies that I actually always defended to say it was such great characters, how they played off each other, especially with Neo and Trinity. Strong male and female. She was just as strong as him in many ways, of course, in character and strength. There's a lot of other ways to be strong as well. I know nowadays every hero movie has, a 90-pound woman beating the shit out of a guy that's at least 250 pounds, her senior in weight, and she just wipes the floor with them. That's getting a bit old too. Even if you're a fucking trained assassin, if you came up against The Rock, you'd be in trouble, all right? You'd be in the shit. Now, if you both had guns, hey, the outcome's unknown at that point. But my point is there's a lot of ways to be strong. Strong in your heart and strong in your convictions and what you do. And men and women together, I think men and women together are strong. I think they're fantastic. I think it is the ultimate yin and yang. And I always defended The Matrix like that, saying, why can't movies today be more like The Matrix, where the female parts now that are written, they have to totally emasculate the male. They have to make him look like a fucking idiot, or that he's evil or wrong in some way, or that he's a toxic male. Every male's toxic now. Used to be that you were heroic and brave, but now you're toxic. God forbid we go to war, because we don't want any of those toxic males out there. We want the weird weakling ones who, when it comes down to the shit, when it comes down to battle, they piss themselves and run. That's who I want at the front line. Fucking A. But, my point is men and women together, that is the perfect mix. That's amazing. In life, in the workplace, in a relationship, yes, I do believe you can be stronger as two. And that is a beautiful thing. And I used to defend The Matrix as saying it was just as important that Trinity, that she loved Neo and she supported him. And he needed that. He needed that, or he could not be the one, or he could not be strong to save the world. And it could have been in reverse. I literally am being absolutely honest. It could have been in reverse, but it wasn't. They've already made it canon. They've already established the storyline and the characters. So if it was Trinity that was the one back then, hey, you know what? The Matrix would have been probably just as awesome. It would have been cool. There are plenty of strong females in the past, and we all know and love them. We love a good Sarah Connor, okay? Come on, before she got, obliterated in the new movie as just, I don't know. not being the real Sarah Connor that we knew and loved, the strong, kick-ass Sarah Connor. You know, we all love Ripley from Aliens, Sigourney Weaver, kick-ass. Hell yeah, Jesus Christ. That movie was 1979. Do you really think, cancel culture woke crowd, that you're the first fucking people to come up with this shit? That you're the first ones to say strong woman or a strong black man? Holy shit, have you ever seen Blade? Fuck off, come on. Blade fucking rocks and he's awesome. And Blade should always be black. Oh my God. Why don't you turn Blade into a white male? Holy shit. That would never fucking happen. And it shouldn't. Shouldn't fucking happen. Because the character has been established. So what I'm saying, if the original Matrix, if it was established that Trinity was the one, then that's fine. Continue with that. Fucking A. Kick-ass Trinity. But it wasn't. It was established that Neo is the one, but he needed Trinity. He needed the support of all of his friends. Morpheus, the whole crew, or he wouldn't have been shit. He did not believe in himself. He didn't have the confidence. He needed all of that you saw in the movie to build to that part. And that is a classic character arc. That's a classic sort of Luke Skywalker arc. Of course you need the support of friends and family and loved ones, whoever that is. And in this case, it was a man and a woman. And they fell in love. And together, they were stronger. You know what? I like that. And I think most people do. But I have a feeling they're going to make it so that it's actually Trinity who was the one all along. Because, hey, let's face it, it's the Matrix. They can play around with the universe all they want. And again, if that's the direction they want to go, I just don't know why you have to take all of our characters away and trash them. Especially ones you've established and that we're behind and we want to see. By the way, Keanu Reeves, the actor, he is one of the few in Hollywood. Man, I'd say 100% of the people, because Keanu, the actual man himself, is fucking awesome. He's the kind of guy you see on the subway in New York giving someone money or stopping for an autograph. He is the most humble, awesome, in real life man. So when he plays a part, whether it's Neo or John Wick, people get on board and they're behind him. But you're going to take that away too. You're going to say that he can't be the hero. That it's really the woman that's the hero. And again, if you heard anything I just said, I don't care if that's what was established, but it wasn't. Why can't he still remain our hero and she can support him? How about together? Together they're the one. Look, that's a bit weird, but I don't even care about that. If you do that, I won't get mad. That together they are the one. Again, they're the yin and the yang, the male and the female. But I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to end up trashing Neo because we have to trash the white male. We have to trash the patriarchy in our world now because we're the devil all of a sudden. And I'm sorry, I don't want to touch on this, but I have to because it's a fact. I was about to say truth, but I often say truth and fact are two different things. Fact is based on something tangible, you can prove, it's scientific, it's real. Truth can be based on point of view, and that can be scary. So, the Wachowski brothers. I can't say that because now they're the Wachowski sisters. And that, based on that, the fact that they are both now transgender, male to female, that on the inside they believe they were always female and now they're living life as a woman. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, of course. I'm just saying, instead of just making a movie based on the original and the original story and the original characters that have been established, I do believe that they're going to take this opportunity to fit it to modern times and to fit it to their narrative and their life and what they believe. And it's going to be about identity politics. Or there'll be that element in there. There'll be something about you can be whatever you want. And again, The Matrix certainly is the perfect place to do that. I just feel like they're making that shit up as they go along. It doesn't really fit the original story. You know, the original story, which I think a lot of people forget, and it still really resonates, is that we're all caught in the Matrix and it's all not real. Because in reality, we're all hooked up to these tubes and our bodies are being used as batteries for energy to power the machines. So our bodies are asleep, but our minds are awake, but in an unreality, in a fake world. Now that's interesting. Our actual physical bodies physiologically male and female. Our inner reality, yes, where we could be anything we want. We could be a dog. We could be a banana. We could be a fucking tree. So if we're going with that, then yes, in the Matrix, you could be anything. But let's assume they're human. They're humanoid, at least. I'm pretty sure they'll touch on the fact that in the Matrix, you never know who someone is, and especially you wouldn't know their gender or their race. And that's fine. That certainly could be part of it. But how are they going to play that in the real world when you get back? And in the fantasy of the Matrix, the evil Matrix, because the Matrix was about control, right? The Matrix is about control. The machine world had to build the artificial environment, the artificial reality, so that our minds would believe that we're still alive in the late 20th century with all the problems of war and horrible poverty and all the things that we're used to. And that's what kept us sane. Now remember, in the original Matrix, they said they tried to create a utopian society where everyone was just happy, running through the fields, happy and joyous. And that didn't work. They said they lost whole crops, which means people would reject it, or they would wake up probably. They would force themselves to wake up because they knew they were in a dream or that it was not reality. So that's interesting. So the Matrix is actually about control. So that's where you want to live? In a fantasy world? In the fantasy world, where it's not really your real life and what you're living and the reality of Earth as it is now. Anyway, that's the thing with the Matrix. Obviously, you can play around with it a lot because the universe they created was very open to interpretation and debate. But like I say, I just have a bad feeling they're going to destroy another character that we know and love, and they're just not going to keep faithful to the source material, which again was about freeing the minds of everyone in that fantasy reality, that artificial reality, which I tell you, half the time these days, I feel like I'm actually in. And if we're not there with all of our phones and iPads and iPhones, and like I say, I see more people on the train staring at their phones than ever looking at each other. So factually, we are in the Matrix, I'll tell you, as of right now. As you're listening to this, you are not really paying attention to real life. And I get it, for a lot of us, it's escapism. You know, these things have been done in the past. These have been scientific studies that have been tested on people. This is nothing new. This is the 50s and 60s these things were happening. They would pose the question to people. Would they rather live in an artificial reality? If there was a machine, this is before they even know this kind of thing could exist. Before Zuckerberg could start create his fucking crazy AI universe that he wants to create. And so that everyone in Facebook is going to get sucked into this artificial reality. We are headed towards the Matrix. Tell me we're not. Tell me right now we are not headed towards the Matrix. But they already thought about these things in the past, and they would ask people, would they rather live in a fantasy world where they could be anyone they want, get anything they want, and live everything in their life that they always wanted, even if they knew it was not reality? You know what? In the past, most people said no, because it's a lie. It's a lie. It's living a lie. Doesn't that eat at you, living a lie? Doesn't that eat at you worse than anything else? Like a cancer growing inside you? You know what? Nowadays, I'm fairly certain if everyone was asked that same question, would you rather live in an artificial world, not the real one that you were born into, the one which does at times kick your ass and can be tough and can fuck you up, but can also be beautiful and amazing and full of such potential, but you just have to work. You have to work at it. You have to actually work at life. News fucking flash, life won't give you shit. Sorry, not everyone's privileged. I think most people would choose to live in the fantasy. And that's the scary part. That is the scary part. That we would choose the fantasy. So maybe that's it. Everyone is choosing the Matrix anyway. So for most young people today, the Matrix is just normal life. It's not the horror. The Matrix used to be the horror that we wanted to wake up from. Now they're probably just looking to join it. Where do I sign up? Sign me up for the Matrix. So that all being said, I get it. we're headed towards a dystopian society. Sorry to be negative, but I think we are. And art imitates life and vice versa. I feel like maybe sometimes we should listen to those stories from the past. Those movies, Terminator, The Matrix, are all probably going to come true. Yes, we'll create artificial intelligence and it will be wonderful. And more than likely, it will end up destroying us. What can I say? It's all there in the movies, folks. Well, the movies of the past. Anyway, that's all I have to say for the moment. The Matrix, I'm just very worried. I'm worried they're going to destroy our heroes as they always do. So I'll definitely review it when it comes out. Hope for the best. So give it a try. Like I say, I'm never for not supporting Hollywood. You know, I always want to say when we are critical of movies, because we're allowed to be, if you put down your money, if you're not pirating it, if you put down your money, yeah, you're allowed to be a critic, because if it's shit, it's shit. I don't think anyone intentionally really goes out there trying to make a shit movie. You know, we talk about the director or the actors, but you know, they're not the only ones. Of course, there's a lot of people involved. There are writers and producers. There's lighting and gaffing and carpenters and catering, and it goes on and on. That's why movies cost a lot of money, or used to before streaming. But my point is when you put together everybody on a huge project of a movie, no, I don't think everyone is out to push down a specific narrative or make it specifically to upset people in some way. But whoever makes the final decision, whoever greenlights these things and signs off on it, they are. So, what can I say? I don't know who's to blame, but we'll figure it out next time. All right, hope you enjoyed this, and talk to you later. Bye.